Chris Level here with another edition of Pirate Talk. Chip Darden, my guest as always, and Colton Coons taking care of us behind the camera. Thank you to Gene Messer Ford Lincoln for sponsoring these shows. We certainly appreciate those folks. We're going to bounce around a lot here. We're going to get to our plays breakdown. Big win for the Pirates last Friday night in the rain, in the elements, if you will. Which was a bit unexpected, I guess. And it was raining in some parts of the city, but not in others, and it was just a weird dynamic. And then I want to go through the offensive line with you, a group that maybe doesn't get a lot of, like, person by person and all that stuff. We're going to try to tell their story. We'll try to do D-line next week. So that would be good to kind of go through a position group right there. Yep. Big game against Tascosa coming up on Friday night at Pirate Stadium, too, as the Pirates are back at home. Okay, so 49-14. This is like, in some ways, I don't know what the statistics or the analytics are going to say, but if you score on defense and you score on special teams, I'd be willing to bet you that you win games like 80 or 90% of the time.
Yeah, I bet it's maybe even higher than that.
Okay.
Like a defensive score, really two defensive scores with a safety, and then two special teams. And working a little
95%?
Working a little kick return today. I told them at the end, said, guys, I'm just going to tell you, if we have two kick returns for touchdowns, we're going to win. I don't care who we're playing. We're going to win. And so, yeah, that is a weird feel. Like it's just kind of funny. Like you want to do that, and like we treat kick return as an offensive play, and you want to have a defensive score, but you also got to work those transitions a little bit. I don't know that we handled those well at times. Getting the PAT team on, we didn't have to use a timeout or anything, but yeah, those are great, obviously, and I don't think we're going to lose many games doing that. So, and I really thought the momentum flipped when some of that started happening. Like it was a battle. We were having to grind it out a little bit, and then that momentum flipped and the ball got rolling, and that was a good thing for us.
0-0 first quarter.
Yeah.
So you put up 49 points in basically three quarters. You ended up scoring, I think, 35 unanswered points. Take me through like the dynamic of a first quarter where it's kind of a rock fight, like kind of feeling out. The elements are, there's some balls slipping out of hands, and you're just kind of figuring, and then boom, and then you put up 4 touchdowns and go to halftime 28-0.
Yeah, they converted a couple first downs on that first drive, and then we get out of it, and then really thought the offense was moving it well on the first drive. I think we had 5 penalties, significant penalties on us on that first drive, and ultimately, like we can talk about, was it good, bad, whatever, but ultimately we got to adjust, and every officiating crew that we're going to have is going to call stuff differently. And so you got to be able to go on that first drive and adjust to how they're calling it and do things in a way that, that we're not sitting at 2nd and 20 or 1st and 20 as much as we were in that first quarter. So I thought that was the key. And then we had a turnover in the red zone. So first quarter just weird. We had really not even 2 full possessions on offense. Just the kind of the way they played and the way it was going, and then score on the first play of the second quarter. So I just didn't think our play overall was necessarily bad in the first quarter. It just was one of those deals. We hadn't really got a feel for the game just yet, and finally punched it in to start the second quarter.
Yeah, it didn't show up on the scoreboard until the elements. You can't really replicate that.
Yeah.
And you kind of, you and I were talking before we started the show, before we started taping, that you kind of weren't super sure that was the word. It just kind of popped up and then it just sat there. Take me through that dynamic and like what you prepare for in the middle of the week. If you do you ever deal with that? Like practice with a wet ball or? I don't know.
I think sometimes that's overrated. I've heard of teams doing that where they'll dunk a ball in water and then snap it, and like, I don't know how productive that is. So we don't do
good.
that. Yeah,
sounds good.
It does.
Yeah.
To me, it just ruins footballs that cost about $100 a piece. So I'm not totally into it. But no, we prep in ways, just having towels, having our our ball boys. That was a good experience for them. We got a couple new ball boys that learning how to deal with trash bags.
There's a Stanzioni down there.
There's a Stanzioni in the Waters.
In the Waters, yes.
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
But yeah, just those type of things, like getting that right where we've got the the best ball that we can. And then ultimately, I thought we saw a couple times that it hurt us. I mean, I thought we had a couple snap issues on offense and then special teams, a hold that, the wet ball or wet hands probably got us. But, I think it probably got them a little bit too. They underthrew a couple balls, and that's just, to me, that's just part of it. And you just play football. And kind of, I don't know. The elements for us, we hope we play a brand of football that travels, that if it's 5 degrees, if it's 95 degrees, we can play our brand.
In a weird way, is it almost fun?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, yeah,
I loved it.
Because it's just like when you the snow. Now maybe it's not, because it's like, okay, this isn't working, or I can't read my play sheet, or my headset's not working, it's dripping on me,
Right.
and it just feels gross. But in some ways, it's like, okay, this is so different and like out of the norm that, like, man, heck yeah, man, this is because it's football.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I do think there's a fine line there. Like a pour down rain, like that wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. But this was perfect.
a couple of years ago up in Amarillo, and it was a sideways rain.
Yeah.
Remind me of the opponent.
Emerald High, I believe.
Maybe, okay. And it was literally sideways.
Yeah.
I mean, and that probably wasn't a lot of fun, just
Yeah.
because you're.
I think we won big, so I had fun. Yeah.
That's right.
The W matters, so
Yeah,
probably
for
if you were asking me if this was great and we'd gotten beat, I'd be like,
And
no.
some Dwight Yoakam on the way home, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, always,
yeah.
always. Even in Lubbock, even in the in-town one?
Absolutely.
Okay, short
Dwight's
drive.
always on the
Okay,
playlist.
good for you, man. Yeah, undefeated is Dwight Yoakam. Okay, so you have, let's go through some of this. You have quarterback play, stellar as always, 14 of 18. I think he was 1 for 187, 3 TDs was Ryan Rodriguez. He hits Shemaine for a screen pass, Cade Gant for 2 passes. We're going to go over one of these long passes with Cade. But talk about your two kick returners here.
Yeah.
Noah Clark and Josiah Davis. Noah Clark is somebody that you've been really excited about as just a skill player, gadget guy, returner, whatever, that is, you feel like has a bright future.
Yeah. And going back to Ryan, too, Ryan had maybe his best throw. He had a lot of great throws. I mean, 14 to 18. But one of his best throws was to Cade Gant on the first drive of the game. Cade gets in the end zone, and we had a couple penalties that we learned from that. Anyway, we have a hard time teaching how to do that different, but as coaches, we're learning how to teach different on the couple of penalties. But that was a really good throw, too. So, anyway, he had a great game. But, yeah, those returners – Noah Clark, he just kind of has a knack. He's just a football player. I think Coach Hooper has said it best, talking about him to either college coaches or just coaches in general, about he's bouncy. That's a term used. He's got a little bounce to him.
Twitchy.
Yes.
Bouncy,
yeah. But having him and Cade back there, and then one of the things that we try to do is we try to make sure our next row, our upbacks, where a lot of those sky kicks go, that they're a threat too, to where, hey, we're not just going to sky it to the 30 and make them fair catch it. We put guys back there that can return it as well. So the kick return team just did a great job. The one that Noah did a great job of accelerating through the hole, but we blocked it very well. And then Josiah Davis, that was one. I probably misaligned our returners. Kind of had them up too far, so we kind of mishandled one, and luckily they were offside, so they moved them back. Well, then we got aligned right, and Josiah takes that next one. Josiah's one of the fastest players on our team, and so yeah, it was good. And again, that's playing multiple guys. Like, not often that we're able to play 4 different returners like we were the other night. And so getting some guys experience and letting them see what they can do, and now we got a little more confidence in playing more guys.
And there's no experience unless you play.
That's right.
You can practice it, but until it's the lights, I mean, that's just the way this sport works. Yep. More so than in other sports, I think.
Yeah.
Is the competition, the speed of the game, and all that stuff. You mentioned Coach Hooper. That's pretty cool, though, to have the kind of special teams type coach. I think he gets to hit. He was an honor in town that he received. But just those are thankless units or plays in some games, but in this game it just shows up. There's a bright flashing light right there. And
Coach Hooper and Coach Rhodes split our special teams duties because they both have position. Other positions that they've got to coach. So they split it, and we work on special teams. And I hadn't been around a whole lot of staffs that I can compare to, but I bet we work them as much as anybody else or more, and it's important to us. So those guys are doing a great job with our special
There's
teams.
different philosophies there.
Yeah.
I think some folks lean into it. Others are, it's not. But if it's not right, if it's not special,
Yep.
It's going to bite you.
That's right.
And this game put up 14. Yeah, be special on special teams. Always, that's what I was always taught.
Yeah, we tell our guys, like, we have starters on there. I mean, we got all kinds of players as far as offense and defense roles on special teams. But starters, if they're tired, we tell them, well, you can rest on offense or defense. But if you're on a special, you're playing on the special. And then you can take a rest if you're that tired. And usually they're not that tired anymore. So that works.
And that's I think we touched on that last week's show, that like a next level type thing, you better be able to do that.
Absolutely.
And then and even so, when you move to the next level and when you're trying to get to the level above that,
Yeah.
you better have some position flex and versatility there. But okay, we'll get to some of those plays in a second. Rodriguez to Gant, and then we've got this pick six that we'll talk about. So I'm going to save that so we can go over that. Jathan Caraway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You also get, because we had multiple kickers in this thing. I want to touch on that, but Jathan Caraway, kind of take me through him. We know about Deuce Shemaine, and who's just having a phenomenal year so far. Dual threat, can run it, catch it. But take me through Jathan Caraway.
Yeah, Jathan.
Cool name, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He was a great JV player for us last year. Kind of split time playing in the slot, playing running back, playing safety. Still can kind of do all three, but he's really thrived in the running back role. And I think we're starting to see him just get a little more confident each week. He's confident with, he's lowering his pads and finishing runs. And, first drive of the game, he had a fumble. But then, he protected the football from there. He's able to take coaching, and just a great kid and doing a great job. Junior, yeah. And just very competitive, multi-sport kid, plays baseball. And he's a good player. I think he's going to have a big game this week.
1-2 punch there is much different than just a one punch.
Yeah. That's the thing. Deuce carried the ball 23 times, I think, against Lovejoy. And, we go 10 straight. That's going to be hard to do. And so we kind of made a point, Coach Rhodes coaches our running backs, made a point of getting some guys in the game, Jathan and Keon Brown, and limiting, that 23 carries is hard to do over and over and over. So we'll split it up pretty nicely. I think Jathan had 8 carries. I think Deuce had 8 carries, and that works out pretty good.
And I don't care how good a shape you're in. It's just, again, you can't replicate it.
Yeah.
Like that game, speed, the adrenaline, it can.
Yeah, and the teams we're playing are so physical.
Sure.
You just play that many snaps, it's going to take a toll.
If you don't mind, I wanted to, before we get to breaking down the plays, I just wanted to highlight, maybe we can start to do this weekly, but I want us to go through a position group maybe each week. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Your offensive line, you often, we always talk, man, if you could ever have a really good all-line or D-line, which one would you pick? And both. But
it's easy.
You're fortunate enough to have the bulk of this offensive line from last year back.
Mm-hmm.
They're very experienced, but Bobby Bleish, Peyton Duncan, John Ryder Hatton, Blaze Douglas, Wyatt Schaaf, who missed last week, but then Kinsler Palma. Yeah. Kinsler's named after the former Ranger, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Ian, who he had some sass in his bucket, and so
Yeah.
I hope Kinsler, this Kinsler does too. But take me through that group a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't Madden Ortiz, I think also has maybe kind of gotten into some playing time a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
But just that group and in totality and kind of how they're playing, and they set the tone for a lot of what goes on here offensively, and you're being able to have a style of play that travels.
Yeah. The John Ryder, Bobby, and Peyton, those 3 guys are 3-year starters.
Is this Moose?
That's Moose. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are 3-year varsity starters. They just haven't, when we're game planning a team and we're able to go back and watch film and watch how they blocked X player, and they've done it, and they've seen every front, they've seen every blitz, they know it all. For 3 years they've been varsity guys. So it's really nice to have those 3 that have played so much. And then Blaze started all last year as well. He's a senior, so you got 4 seniors anchoring that O-line that I need to probably count how many football games they have started in. it would be an astronomical number. But that just starting with those 4 seniors is great, and I think they're able to help the younger guys, some that you mentioned, and then Wyatt Schaaf too. He started most of last year as well. So all 5 of those guys with starting experience, they're able to help a guy like Kinsler Palma that as a sophomore. There's a lot of sophomores that aren't quite ready for varsity football, especially in the trenches. But they're able to help him. He's playing multiple positions, and that's something I think that's neat about our O-line too. The way Coach Matt Darden coaches them is really based on rules and based on footwork. They could really play any position. Center's a different animal, having to snap it, and with a wet ball the other night, having to snap that thing is tough. But they rotate all different positions. Bobby never really played tackle. He played tackle for 2 of our scrimmages and was really good at it. So I think they're pretty versatile. They're good. They're leaders. Those guys have turned into such good leaders and positive, and I couldn't be more proud of them. And man, if you can start a football team with those guys, then you got a chance of being pretty good.
Yeah, Bobby, he walked up to me at one of the breakfasts the other day. I mean, known him for several years, and he's just really grown up.
Yeah,
it's good for him. Good for him. Okay, well, I think that's important.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
That's a group that they're not going to show up in the stat sheet. Although when you look at how many rushing yards and passing yards and points scored, all that they have as much to do with that as anybody. Maybe we'll switch over to D-line next week. Yeah, we'll do that next week. I wanted to, before we moved on to, you had multiple kickers here. I thought one of the funniest points in the game was very late, and Case Robertson's out there wanting to kick the extra point, and there's no holder.
Yep.
Can't really do that. Like that's and need somebody to hold it.
Maybe you're ruining our drop kick. We might have been drop kicking that one. You don't
A free
know.
kick?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that still?
The old drop kick. Yeah, if it hits the ground first.
Okay. That's not what you were doing. I'm just going to say it. If you want to make me feel bad.
Yeah.
But
no, there's some of those late in the game, and that's what I mentioned that. Like we have to be a little bit better with some of that. We're trying to get some guys different experience there, like you said, game experience. And I think for kickers, holders, snappers, you can't, like, as many times we rep that in practice, it doesn't matter till the lights turn on. So we were trying to do a little bit of that, a little miscommunication, had to burn a timeout, but then we executed the snap, hold, and kick after that. So that's a scoring play for us. We put a lot of emphasis on extra point. It's something, if you ever come to one of our practices, we have a position coach for every spot. So like there's a left wing coach, there's a left tight end coach, we all coach it, we all prep it. It's just that important to us. So anyway, we'll take a timeout to score a point any day. But Case came right in there and
2 for 2
knocked through. Yep, he was 2 for 2. And he got to kick off a little bit. Michael did well. Michael's kickoffs were unbelievable, and then Javi Serta got to do some kickoff duty.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So 3 kickers getting a little game rep, that matters.
And that's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Serta, he's an enormous individual.
Yep, he is.
Just a
first off the bus.
Big kid.
Yep.
I mean, really big kid. Like, you play linebacker, tight end, and kicker, probably all of it. But this is his first year to play football, as you and I've talked about. Okay, Coach, let's back up just a bit. Lean on our man Colton and kind of go over a couple of these plays here. First one, I think. So this first one, this is going to be the pick six by Broderick Everett. So I'll let you kind of.
So a couple of things here that these are related, even though there's a defensive one, offensive. As you can tell, the down and distance, we're 2nd and 20 here. So a down that you're thinking pass for sure, but our back end guys definitely not wanting to get beat. Broderick starts the play off right here at this inside linebacker spot. A couple things to notice: we had really good coverage on the back end on the deep stuff, and then getting pressure, especially early in the game, I think affected this play. We had gotten great pressure with our defensive line. Might force a quick throw, might force quarterback's feet to be off just a little bit when you've pressured him. Colton, you can roll it. So Broderick here does a good job. And you can go back one more time here, Colton. So a couple things to note. Like there's 3 receivers that are coming out into Broderick's area. I think he does a good job of not being too fast to the one in the flat. waits till his inside linebacker can take the next vertical route, but then just does a great job of undercutting. And then I don't know if this film shows it, but he tight roped. I could had a great view, and he stayed in bounds, and I don't know how he did. I thought he was going to catch it and get right out of bounds. He stays in bounds.
Put on the brakes.
Put on the brakes, like our guys trying to block, and like that's something that we look for. You can go one more time. We look for when a play is made like that. We look for these guys that twitch, and they're going to try to block somebody. That's what Case Romero's doing right there. He's not just waiting to celebrate. He's looking to find somebody to block. But man, this was a game-changing play. It's 14-0 at this point. And just really flipped the momentum.
Hey, back it up, Colton.
Yeah, let's don't watch that.
No, back it up, Colton. Was that you?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
You? Is this you right here? Yeah.
Lost my play sheet. we got to offense later, and I'd lost my play sheet. But game-changing play by Broderick. Watching our guys, like there's Darius trying to sprint in front. There's Pat trying to sprint in front. We're blocking here.
And he just, QBs might as well sit it out.
Yeah, so we just exactly what we want to see. White shirts leading us into the end zone.
Okay. Anything else on that? Okay.
No, that's good. And then, so now we're in a similar situation. We're 2nd down and 30 here.
2nd and 30.
2nd and 30.
And
so Coach.
And why?
So Coach Bacchus, that's irrelevant. So Coach Bacchus, who retired, not coaching with us anymore, he told me all the time, you got to have a 2nd and 25 play call on your sheet. I'm like, no, we're not going to do it. So I may need to start putting some 2nd and 25, 2nd and 30. But 2nd and 30, tough situation. So a couple things to keep in mind. We probably thought they were going to be loose zone here, keep everything in front. So our thought process, maybe get half of it and run a base play that we've got. So the idea wasn't necessarily to go to Cade here, but we've got a quarterback that's a really good football player and a really smart football player. He thinks the game. He knows the game. So if you'll go forward a little bit, and I'll tell you when to pause it, Colton. So as we start lining up, you can keep going a little bit.
They're shading the cover.
So right now, I think Ryan is looking around. Ryan sees man-to-man. Ryan knows what Cade route. Cade's got a vertical route here, and so he's automatically crossing everybody else off. He's just making sure this safety doesn't help, and he knows where he's going to go with the ball. And then number 11 is just a pretty good player for us. If you'll go back one more time, Colton, I think another deal, a lot of times when teams are man, they're bringing pressure. And so they do bring a blitz. Another great job by Shemaine coming across, picking up that pressure.
Shemaine makes the play.
He does a great job.
Otherwise, you can't make the throw.
And I'll say this, like another positive about Ryan right here is Ryan's always been able to throw the ball. Sometimes the pocket awareness is something we've challenged him with, and last year you just saw drastic improvement. But like this is next level pocket awareness. He just knows he can step up and make a throw, and that's just you got a quarterback that's doing that stuff. It's easy as a play caller.
Special,
You try to build in stuff. So it was obviously a huge play on 2nd and 30. I'll tell Coach Bacchus we're 1 for 1 on 2nd and 30 plays.
Is that not exactly how you opened up the scrimmage in Odessa?
Pretty similar look. Yep, it was.
Almost same sideline, identical, going the same way on the field, everything.
Yep.
That was maybe 80.
Ryan and Cade have had a connection for a long time. I would. Coach Schulte was calling when they were freshmen. Coach Schulte was calling that offense, and I would be willing to bet about 80% of Ryan's completions on that freshman team were to Cade. So they've had a connection for a long time, and just proud of both of them. Both great kids too. They're fun to be around.
Yeah, man, played a lot for you, and seniors, and it's their time to shine, and they are doing just that. Okay, so let's transition over to Tascosa. Friday night, 6:30 pregame coverage begins on 100.7 The Score. We'll stream it on the LCISD YouTube channel. This was a district opponent a couple years ago. Then there's been some classification. I guess they stayed in 5A Division I. Cooper dropped to 5A Division II, so now this is a non-district game. You've played these guys 3 times. One was essentially for a district championship, I guess, the first time. Yeah, 28-14 Tascosa, but
Yep.
then you've gotten them the last 2 times, including last year. Why was that game played in Canyon at West Texas A&M last year?
Yeah, they have.
Did y'all-
No, I think it's the week of their fair. I think up there, and so Dick Bivens shares with the.
Can't be messing with the fair,
No
man.
doubt.
Yeah.
But that was cool. It was cool to play up at West Texas A&M. It was a nice venue. I'd never stepped foot in it, and it was nice.
Corn dog or funnel cake or both? At the fair.
I mean, I'm probably going to choose a funnel cake. But.
By the way, somebody having fun at our expense has left us a candy corn. It's September.
And it's a terrible.
And you think this is
terrible.
as much as trash as I do? Okay,
Yeah, it's
got it.
terrible.
Okay, yeah. It is
Just not
being heckled, man. It's not cool, man. We're just trying to do our thing here, man. Frustrating a lot of people.
Yeah.
You
can't really focus. But
I know. That's worse than the corn.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because it's more of it,
Yeah.
of the same gross concoction.
Waxy, yeah.
But yeah, appreciate whoever left that there. That's awesome of you. So when you play Tascosa and Ken Plunk, who's like this, he looks a lot like Mike Leach. He has these mannerisms like Mike Leach,
Yeah.
right? I mean, really, it's in I think in a way believes in offensive football the way Coach Leach did.
Yep.
It's just different.
Yep.
He wants to run it and all the other things, and Mike threw it. But this is a limited possession kind of game now for you guys. They have 5 running backs or 5 rushers that have had over 80 yards in their 2 games. They're 2-0. So just take me through the challenges of Tascosa and kind of the Flexbone,
Yeah, they're going to run the Flexbone under center,
which is also rare.
Yeah, the idea, they make you play disciplined football. They make you do your assignment well. If you don't, then it's going to be a touchdown. I think something, so they're really good up front. They're really good at the scheme. I think something that makes them different, they got a 3-year starting quarterback. So we saw him, early on. And,
Fulton,
yeah.
Fulton, yeah.
We saw him as a sophomore when he's just growing into the role. And with that offense, there's a mesh and a pitch all the time. And they put it on the turf a little bit his sophomore year. Well, then got a lot better at it last year. And then now it's a well-oiled machine. And he just does it well. He can throw it too. That's the thing. That's what's scary. Like, I think they're 90-something% run. But that 5 to 10% pass is usually a big play, and so it's efficient. They do a great job of putting you in positions that try to get you in space and make you tackle in space. But I think the other thing that's always intriguing to me about offenses like this is they've seen everything. They've seen how teams do it, and so they've got a plan. So you line up and you're doing something. Okay, well then we're going to hit you with this, and we saw that the first year we played them that district championship. We had a really good plan. They had some good slots. We stopped them, but then they just went to a little overload quarterback run, and they got us about 4 yards a pop and kept the ball the whole game. And
the fun part about this is, one, we were talking about analytics and odds and all that. I'd love to know the odds of a game being played with 2 3-year starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, very rare.
Very rare. And 2, I think after that first time you played them, you met with people and you talked a lot about having to go against this thing.
Yeah.
And you tried to figure out, okay, if we do this, what are they going to do? This is almost one of those things where you can almost kind of pick your poison and force them to do what you want.
Yeah.
On whatever benefits you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like if we do this, we know they're going to do this, and we want them to do that because we maybe we're better matched up to be able to defend that. Then
yeah. Sometimes I think you definitely look at it that way, and honestly, for us too, like we prepare for every game to win. We put everything into it. We never look ahead. But in non-district, we also just want to play football and want to get better at playing football. Yeah. So we try not to over-scheme, even in this situation, that we just try to go play football. So we will, and they're going to be, there's going to be stuff that they probably get us with that we're going to have to improve and adjust throughout the game. It's been a focus this week is adapting. Didn't know we adapted really well to some of the stuff that happened on Friday night. So that's been a focus. We're going to have to do that. But they complement each other because they play really good defense too. And I don't even know, you might have asked me about it, but they've got one of the best defensive linemen that we'll see all year.
Chris Johnson.
Yeah, he is the real deal. His sophomore year, he played defensive end, and we listed him as one of their best players then. And now 3 years later, he's grown and he's explosive. He's a good player. So all the way around, it's a challenge. They haven't given up a touchdown yet. They've given up 3 points in 2 games.
Is he okay? Because he's who you're talking about. He's committed to Texas Tech and everything. And then a couple years ago, they had a young man by the name of Avion Carter that went to TCU. Similar.
Yeah, they play a little bit different. This is not coming from Coach Plunk, so if Avion, if you're watching this, he did not say this, but I got the vibe that they thought Crush is better.
Okay.
Now Avion Carter signed with TCU out of high school. I think he's with North Texas now, but he's good. What a D lineman name, Crush. I mean, that's
with a K.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But I trust my man Moose and Bobby Bleish and John Ryder
and what a great challenge. That's what we talked about. It's a great challenge. Like,
sure.
Hey, and I don't know of our 5-0 linemen if they all want to go play college ball or not, but if you do, here's a great opportunity to show, hey, I can block a Division I guy.
This is what coaches at the next level will look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those kinds of
and I think the battle there, on both sides of the ball, but like that battle, like he's good enough. He's going to win some battles, and I'm ready to see how our guys, when they lose one of the battles with him, how we respond to it. And I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
The game within the game.
Yeah,
that's right. That's probably something that nobody else in the stadium really will be watching unless you're like parent of one of those players or like the position coach right there. Everybody follows the ball, but could be where it's decided. So, well, good luck Friday night, Tascosa and all that stuff. Just some questions to finish it up with here. Okay, you ready? There were some things that were just bouncing around the ether this week in college football and NFL football and high school football and all that stuff. Just thought I'd throw some. Have you ever punished a team after a win or a loss?
I saw that
immediately.
Yeah,
I knew you'd seen it.
I saw that. No,
okay.
I don't. I think that's a little bit of a show, in my opinion. I don't.
And you already knew where I was going with it. Yeah. Have you also? Have you? I bet you saw this too. Have you ever said the wrong thing in an interview?
Oh yeah, you bet. Absolutely, I have. I don't know what you're referring to there. But I have, yes, I absolutely have, and
there was a inappropriate word used in a national.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, I did about special teams. Luckily, our special teams were really good. I didn't have to do that.
But have you ever said anything inappropriate to an official?
Yeah. Oh, sure. There's always stuff that you would like to take back. I don't know that I've had a big time like, I better call the soup and apologize for this one. I don't know if I've had that, knock on wood. But
as much time as you on a headset, or as much time as you and I are behind a microphone or whatever, you're gonna commit a turnover.
That's right.
Every once in a while. Here's a weird one that was going around the office this week. we're in the trust tree here. Have you ever been scammed? Telling yourself.
I don't know.
Which could be like, oh man, I got this weird text message.
And I never got anything bad off of it. So COVID year is when you could start streaming games. Before 2020, you couldn't stream live high school football games on Friday nights.
Right, UIL would not.
Yeah, wouldn't allow it. But then COVID, they allowed it since fans aren't there, and then they just continued it. That year, that was all new, like all that, and I was trying to watch Dalhart. One of my best friends, Kyle Kitchens, is the offensive coordinator up there, and so I was trying to watch them on a Friday night. I think our season was delayed, so the smaller schools were playing and we weren't yet.
And you clicked,
and it was some random kid, and I clicked and put in my credit card info, but I kind of watched and I never saw any. They didn't know how to scam me that well, but had they known, I was done. That $137 in my bank account would have been gone.
Okay, that's funny. You know what? I appreciate that.
Might have been about $107 maybe.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Because we've all you get so much thrown at you and everything like that. It's easy to click the wrong link in an email and you're like, dadgummit, and then you're getting all this silliness.
The whole system.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then you get a call from
from Matt Hawley that says,
"Hey, we need to talk.
You're not very smart,
Yeah,
Mr.
we
Darden."
need to create more of a filter on your old email." So okay, yeah, just some good stuff right there. So I saw that. Just thought I'd toss that up your way. I like that though about no immediate punishment after a game. That's probably smart. I think that's what good is it going to do?
Yeah, and like it's hey,
look
and
at
I
me.
don't know what they did. I don't know what the team, if it was penalties, if it was how they acted, whatever. But like, I don't know. There's a bigger picture to all of it, and I don't know. That's not how we're going to operate.
Yeah, because shockingly, the TV cameras were there.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
capture it all. So, all right, Coach, appreciate it, man.
Yep,
Yeah,
thank
there
you.
we go. Another edition of Pirate Talk in the books. Thank you to Colton Coons. As always, thank you again to Gene Messer, Ford Lincoln, and for Chris Level, for Colton Coons. Well, I'm Chris Level for Chip Darden. I'm in. We'll talk to you next time. See you.